Do you remember Oxford? Do you remember the town, in fact, the city of Oxford? They were, apparently, there was huge sort of contretemps, was there not? That it was going to lock down, be a lockdown, climate lockdown, and people wouldn't be able to travel. They'd be locked in their homes. Do you remember that a few years ago? People were saying, oh, this is happening, 15-minute cities. No, 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 definitely not. I was alerted to this by my dear friend Chris Brooks. Here he is. Look, Chris Brooks... talking about the Oxford problem, and apparently they are actually doing this, he says. Oxford declares climate lockdown this year. Go and check him out at LSB Film Productions on YouTube there. He needs a few extra subscribers. It would do him some good. And he's quite right. He is actually quite right. And yet, hold on a second, Chris. Hold on. Let's just double check this, because if we go back in time, we can see here from press reports that there's no plan for a climate lockdown in Oxford City in England. Here was the claim that an English county council plans to enforce a climate lockdown in 2024, preventing residents from leaving their neighbourhoods without permission from the local authority. Can you imagine? You'll need permission from the local authority to leave this area more than 100 times. You can't drive across the city because we are the law over you. We are, for some reason, you are our slaves. How did that come about? But of course, that's absolutely rubbish, because it's all been denied. Look, here we are. The verdict was false. Oxfordshire County Council will just trial traffic filters, which are designed to reduce acute congestion in Oxford City by restricting private vehicles without a permit or an exemption from using some roads when the filters are operating. That's all it is. Nothing to get worked up about, or except without a permit. You do need permission. Hold on a second. We do need permission then? You just said, did you not say that was false? You said that we can't leave our neighbours without permission. You said it was false over here. When was this? Oh, yeah, 2022. Oh, well, there we are. Nothing to worry about. Nothing ever happened, did it? Hang on a minute. Reuters, you know, that news agency. Fact check, it says here. I don't know if you can see that in tiny lettering. Oxfordshire County Council to trial congestion-reducing traffic filters. It's not a climate lockdown, you idiots. That stops residents leaving their neighbourhood. No, it's a fact check. There it is. Look, and when was that dated, just as a matter of interest? December 2022. Oh, yeah, there we are. So that's obviously true. And how about, let's have a look here. Oh, the BBC. Yes, there we are. They are the bastions of truth. Must be. Surely it's the British Broadcasting Corporation. False climate lockdown claims in Oxford lead to death threats. Blimey. When was that? December 2022. Funny. So, couple of years ago, 18 months ago, whatever it is, just over a year really. And it says here, Councillor Duncan Enright says he's not used to the type of abuse he's been receiving. He looks very happy. He doesn't seem to mind the abuse. Let's have a look down here. False claims that a lockdown to help fight climate change could soon be enforced in Oxford have spread on social media. Residents are confused and local politicians have received a torrent of abuse as a result. But it's not true, is it? Chris, you're making it up. You're making it all up. I don't know what you're talking about. And yet, hold on a second. Hang on. Let's go over to the Vision News. This was 7 days ago, as I record this, by Philip James. 15-minute city ahead, despite name change, says council whistleblower. Hold on a second. And the council doubles down. It says Oxford City Council has said that they are to drop the 15-minute city from their documents and will no longer use the term to describe their plan for fear of a backlash. However, here we go. A whistleblower who's privy to the council's core agenda says there is no change whatsoever to any of the schemes. No watering down, no rolling back, no listening to the public, only a change in name. In fact, our contact warns of a doubling down of the plans with 2024, seeing a huge increase in the 15-minute city agenda to bully motorists out of their cars. Look at this, and here's the 15-minute city where the filters will be. And the inventor of the 15-minute city is a former Colombian terrorist, it says here. Blimey. Our latest move comes only weeks after the inventor of the 15-minute city plan came to Oxford to give us a speech on his utopian idea. And anyway, it goes on and tells us how this is all going to work, the 15-minute city. So what do you think? Can that possibly be true? No, but even if you go on their own website, oxfordshire.gov.uk, you get the 2020 framework, action framework. Here it is, for a thriving Oxfordshire, it says, and look, some lovely cartoon pictures. So reassuring, isn't it, in the climate action to save the planet. The Climate Action Framework here sets out our guiding principles of how we will mobilise to tackle the challenge through two connected roles, transforming our own organisation and enabling a zero-carbon Oxfordshire. Zero carbon. You do know that you need carbon to live, don't you? You do actually know that, don't you, Oxfordshire Council? You do know that in order to breathe, you need oxygen in the lungs. The carbon is there. You expel carbon. That's an important part of it. But the carbon is part of getting the oxygen into your blood system. Or something like that. It's very important. Ask David Bellamy. He knows all of... Oh, no, hang on a minute. He's dead. Okay, so ask anybody who runs greenhouses that grows food, that there's not enough carbon dioxide in the air, enough to get food growing. We only got 400 parts per million or whatever it is. That's 0.04% of what it is. And if they reduce it down, people will just snuff it. But don't worry, they've got this lovely, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's so nicely put together. It tells you all about how their climate action innovation, their green stuff, telling everyone they're going to be travelling on bicycles, look at that. Yet they'll have a fleet of fire engines and trucks and commercial vehicles. You won't have any cars, of course. Look, there's nowhere that mentions you will have a car. All the property will be sustainable. There'll be zero carbon services, and you'll all be very happy. Look, there's a bloke on a bicycle. There's another one on a bicycle and a bus. No personal cars. Did you notice that? No personal cars. You might think that's a personal car, but no. It's got a green agenda on it. Look at that. There's a little logo down there. So staff business mileage. There we are. Staff business. They'll have mileage. Oh, another cyclist. How delightful. And then all this gumph here to sort of tell you how it is. Oh, there's one of those wonderful bird choppers. Yeah, it slices down those perishing birds left, right and centre and just stands there dormant when it's not windy. And then, of course, here, what is this? Is that a school covered in that solar panel? There's something. Have you seen that recently? What is that yellow thing in the sky? Don't know about you, but I've not seen it. There's all this spraying going on in the atmosphere, and the government tell us that that's there to help get rid of the sunshine. You know, that terrible thing, that sunshine that's causing the carbon. Oh my God, imagine living on a planet where the sun goes round it and everything depends on that. Can you imagine? I mean, the best thing to do would be to spray the sky to stop the sunlight coming in, and then have fields and fields and fields of solar panels trying to capture the sunlight so they've got energy. There's a little bit of moronic thinking going on there, if you ask me. But there we are. Let's have another look at this moronic little platform here of, a climate active council, carbon neutral by 2030. So, people will be dead. Supporting schools. We won't have any kids to go to it because they'll all be dead because they won't be breathing. And, again, look, little cyclists there, same one as before. I don't know if you've noticed that. And some more of the powers that be's vehicles. No personal vehicles, you notice that? Nobody will actually have a personal vehicle whatsoever, a little car or conveyance. Loads of crap. Another cycle, look at that. It's all going to be great. You're all going to go on bikes, yeah. The sun isn't shining, by the way, and it's raining every bloody day, but you'll be out on bikes. You'll be on bikes. That's how it's all worked. Maybe somebody should tell these councils, and maybe people have, and they're just going, no, not listening, that actually there is no such thing as global warming, that man-made global warming is a myth, that it's rubbish, that this is part of a bigger agenda, that this is actually part of destroying this country and other countries around the world, about capturing people and keeping them inside these 15-minute cities of which you will not be able to leave unless you've got papers, please. Papers, please. I'm sorry, you can't leave. That's what they're aiming at, and so it does seem that they're going to do a trial in Oxford. I wonder how the Oxford people think about that. Are they happy to be in a trial? Personally, I think this is a good idea. I think it is a good idea that we all highlight this and show what a miserable life people are likely to have if this went nationwide. I feel sorry for the people in Oxford. Did they vote for it? Did they all go, oh, yes, let's have that. Let's be locked in our houses because we did that 4 years ago and it was great fun. We didn't have to go out anywhere. We didn't have to go to boring weddings. We didn't have to go to funerals. We didn't have to go anywhere. We could just stay at home and watch the screen because everything was done. If I wanted a cup of coffee, some bloke on a bicycle can come and deliver it to me. Oh, it'd be so good. Oh. So maybe it is a good idea that we see how stupid and how dystopian this idea is so that we can push back and say in our other counties up and down and other cities, this is the worst idea ever possible thought. And if you think we're all mugs and are going to go along with it, you've got another thing coming.